Can your diet actually prevent cancer? I mean, it's a huge question, right? We see it everywhere, headlines screaming about the next big superfood. So let's cut through the noise and figure out what the science really has to say.
We've all seen these claims. Eat this to fight cancer. Whether it's blueberries or broccoli or turmeric, the idea that you can just eat one specific food and it will act like some kind of silver bullet, it's super appealing. But is there any truth to it?
And boom, there you have it. Straight from a wellness dietitian at the MD Anderson Cancer Center. The hard truth is, there's no magic shield. No single food is going to do it. So, okay, if that's off the table, what's next? Where do we even begin?
Right? Let's just tackle this cancer-fighting food myth head on. Because the truth is, it's not about finding one miracle ingredient. It's really all about the big picture, your overall pattern of eating, day in and day out. That's what truly matters.
So, you might be wondering, where did this idea even come from? Well, a lot of it has to do with these amazing things called phytochemicals. They're these natural compounds in plants that are genuinely good for us. But here's the kicker. There are over 4,000 different kinds. No one fruit, no one vegetable has all of them. And that's exactly why variety is so important.
So let's shift gears and talk about what is your strongest defense, looking at the big picture. This is where we get into the real evidence-based recommendations from the world's top cancer research groups. And it's not about a single food, it's about a whole lifestyle.
So these are the top recommendations from the big players, the World Cancer Research Fund and the American Institute for Cancer Research. And take a look. Notice how eat a healthy diet is just one step? It's right there with being a healthy weight and staying active. It's not just one thing, it's the whole package deal. That's how you really reduce your risk.
And here it is, laid out plain and simple. On the one side, you've got the stuff that all the evidence says we should probably limit, things like processed meats and sugary drinks. And on the other side, that's the good stuff we should be piling high on our plates. You can almost think of this as your cheat sheet for the grocery store.
All right, let's really zoom in on the positive side of this, the power of plant foods. I mean, why are experts always recommending them? Well, it goes way deeper than just vitamins and minerals. There's something else incredible going on.
And a huge piece of that puzzle is fiber. The big research groups even give us a concrete number to shoot for, at least 30 grams a day. And, importantly, they say to get it from food, not from a pill or a powder. So, what is it about fiber that makes it such a hero? This is where it gets really fascinating. Let's talk about how fiber actually works its magic inside your body. And trust me, it's about way more than just keeping you regular. Fiber is basically fuel for a secret weapon you already have inside you.
See, here's the crazy part. When you eat fiber, your body doesn't actually digest it, but something else does, the trillions of microbes living in your gut. You're not eating for one, you're eating for trillions. And feeding them is the first crucial step in this whole amazing protective process. So as your gut bacteria have a feast on all that fiber, they produce these incredible compounds called short-chain fatty acids. And the absolute rock star of the group is a little guy called butyrate. Just think of it as premium fuel for the cells that line your colon, keeping them strong, healthy, and working the way they should. And what you get is this incredible cascade of protective effects. Butyrate helps keep your gut in this happy, stable state. It calms down inflammation and can help neutralize nasty carcinogens. And get this, on a cellular level, it can act as something called an HDAC inhibitor. Now, that sounds super technical, but it's basically a fancy way of saying it can literally tell cancer cells to either stop growing or even to self-destruct. How cool is that?
Okay, but this brings us to another really common idea, supplements. If all these compounds in food are so good for us, why not just pop them in a pill? Well, this leads to a huge, and I mean huge, misunderstanding that can actually be dangerous.
It's a totally logical question, isn't it? If antioxidants fight cell damage, it seems like a no-brainer to just get a super concentrated dose every morning. But the answer from some pretty major scientific studies is, well, it's genuinely shocking.
So first, just a quick refresher on the bad guys here, free radicals. These are nasty, unstable molecules that bounce around in our bodies, damaging our cells, including our DNA. And the National Cancer Institute says this damage could be one of the pathways that leads to cancer.
So antioxidants are the heroes that swoop in and neutralize these free radicals. But here is the absolutely critical distinction: how we get them. Whole foods give you this beautiful, complex mix of different antioxidants and nutrients that all work together, like a well-rehearsed orchestra.
Supplements, on the other hand, just blast your system with a massive dose of one single isolated chemical. And that changes the whole tune.
Okay, let's look at the gold standard of evidence here, these huge, major clinical trials. And the results? Whoa, they were absolutely stunning and not in the way you'd hope. For high-risk groups like smokers, taking high-dose beta-carotene supplements didn't help. It actually increased their risk of lung cancer. And another one, the SELECT trial, found that high-dose vitamin E actually increased the risk of prostate cancer. I mean, this is the exact opposite of what everyone expected.
So the verdict from the scientific community is loud and clear. These high-dose supplements are not a shortcut to good health. They don't prevent cancer, and for some people, they can actually cause harm. The big takeaway here? Get your antioxidants from food on your plate, not from a bottle in your cabinet.
Okay, so after all that science, let's bring it all back home, back to the kitchen. How do we take all this info and turn it into something we can actually eat every single day? Let's build a really simple action plan for what a cancer-protective plate looks like. This is it, your protective grocery list. It's not about weird, expensive, hard-to-find foods. It's about loading up on a rainbow of fruits and veggies. And hey, frozen is just as nutritious as fresh. It's about whole grains, plant proteins like beans and lentils, and then rounding it out with healthy fats and lean proteins. See, it really doesn't have to be complicated.
And look, if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this, the 2/3 rule. Just look down at your plate. For every meal, just try to make sure at least 2/3 of it is filled with those amazing plant foods. That simple visual trick is one of the easiest ways to make sure you're getting all that fiber and all those phytochemicals we've been talking about.
You know, at the end of the day, this isn't about some radical diet overhaul you have to start tomorrow. It's really about small, sustainable changes. It's not about searching for one magic food. It's about building a better overall pattern, one meal at a time. So here's the real question. What's one small change you can make to your plate today?